to be challenged. If you can't support what you believe, then you shouldn't be there. That's all. And we will get some criticism, and that's okay. You know, we should get criticism, and we should have to vet out what we think is right. And so we will be doing that. So I just wanted to respond to Doug and Stockstill. I'm happy for the House, and I certainly respect their decision. We just chose to go a different way. On the table, you'll see there's a yellow piece of paper that I provided. On one side, it talks about the different ways you can contact the Senate Republican slate. We have gone high-tech. Doing the best we can high-tech. And so please check that out. Check our Facebook page out. Check our website out. But more importantly, on the second page, behind it, is something we had sent out earlier about edge of the cliff. That's the mood in Annapolis right now. That we're on the edge of a cliff. The governor has taken us all the way to the edge. We don't have any more solutions. We won't have federal welfare money next year. And I do call it welfare money. It's not stimulus money, it's welfare money we're getting from the federal government. And we won't have funds to raid next year because we've raided every fund we can possibly raid. So we're at that cliff. What are we going to do? And the mood in Annapolis is that the leadership is so upset because we're telling people we're at the edge of the cliff. And we can't wait until next year, because what will happen next year is they will raise taxes historically, because they'll say, gosh, it's 3 more years to an election. We can raise taxes like we did in 2007. That's what they think you guys are going to do. They think you're going to forget what happened in 2007. You're going to listen to the rhetoric. Governor O'Malley on his State of the State was talking about, oh, things aren't so bad. We're going to go forward and people in Maryland can do it. I mean, very good rhetoric. And we hope for the best. We're going to make sure it works. And we believe that Marylanders can come through in difficult times. And what I said in response to a reporter was, I agree with the governor that Marylanders will come through in difficult times. Because Marylanders have learned from Virginia. Marylanders have learned from New Jersey. Marylanders have learned from Massachusetts. Marylanders have learned that they have the power to change their government. And they will in November of 2010. And they know that in Annapolis. So they're scared. And darn right they should be scared. And you know what? We need to continue to get out there and speak. On the opening day of the legislature, I think most of the members of the Carroll County delegation were there. There were over 1,000 people in Lawyers Mall. And you know what? They weren't Republicans. They weren't Democrats. They weren't independents. They were citizens of Maryland, the We the People movement, the other folks who've come down to say we've had enough of overspending. We've had enough of overregulation. We want you to listen to us. We don't want you to overspend. Listen to us. Be accountable to us. And let the country and our state move forward in a responsible manner. And you know what? They're going to hold us accountable. And what I told folks that night was, hold me accountable. I deserve to be held accountable. We have young people over here, young people, high school students, who are going to have to suffer the consequences for our inaction and our mistakes. Yeah. That's not fair to them over there, folks. I have 4 children too. It's not fair to my children. We can't continue to avoid making the tough decisions. So Doug and Stockstill, you and the House members, we're going to get criticized tremendously. And the Senate members, and David Brinkley and E.J. Pipkin and Senator Riley, who's put a bill in as well, we're going to get criticized. But you know what? I think the people out there in Maryland realize now that that is something we have to do. I think people finally realize that the deficit and the debt are such an important issue to our country and our state that we're willing to realize that we have to tighten our belt. Even if that means reducing education somewhat, even if that means dealing with Medicaid, we have to figure it out. You guys live in a budget. You guys can't come home and say, you know what, dear, I'd rather spend another $500 on this thing over here. Even if it's a good thing you need. You say, I can't do it. We need to learn to say we can't do it. And I sit in the committee, and I'm sure everyone else does, and you have people come up and ask for really good programs that could really help some people. And it's really hard to say no. And we get this mantle that we're the party of no. Sometimes it's not bad to be no. Sometimes it's good to say no. I want to close with an analogy and how I see Annapolis is right now. We're playing baseball. I'm a big basketball player, but baseball is a good sport too. But we're playing baseball. And we're playing on the the government team. And the leader of my team is Governor O'Malley. And I'm on the team. And I'm sitting on the bench. The game started. You got the players out there having errors and mistakes all over the place. The other team is scoring a bunch of runs. I walk over to the manager and say, you know, manager, I have an idea. Let's do such and such. We'll do a better job. Let me try this. No, go sit down in the corner. I'll talk to you when I want to talk to you. Sit down there. I don't want you to speak unless I've asked you to speak. So now we're down by 3 runs. So now it's the 4th thing. I come over and say, manager, I got some ideas. Let me try something. No, you go in the corner. You sit over there. I don't want to listen to you. You're not important. Fast forward 9th inning. Bottom of the 9th. We're down by 10. 2 outs. O'Malley turns around and goes, hey, you in the corner. Come up here and solve our problem. And that's what it's like. He's coming, okay, now we're down by 10 runs. There's no one on base. There's 2 outs. You go in there and you score 10 runs and win the game for us. That's what they're telling us to do on Tuesday. We've told them for years that if you follow these ways, you'd be okay. We had solutions 3 years ago. We had solutions 2 years ago. We had solutions 1 year ago. They said no. If they had listened, we would not be in the situation we are today. They chose not to listen, and now they want to blame a group of people who are less than 1/3 of the legislature for causing all their problems. Mike Miller says, I brought Washington to Annapolis. Me, little Alan Kittleman, brought Washington to Annapolis. Folks, when the Democrats have controlled Annapolis for decades, you can't blame the Republicans for the problems. They need to be responsible. They need to say, we messed up. They need to say, we need help, and we're willing to reach out our hand. And if they're not willing to do that, we're going to go out and do it for them. Thank you very much.